It's the professional Masterchef quarter-final. These 6 talented chefs stood out in their heats. Tonight, they'll face 2 more challenges to test them even further.
The quarterfinals is a whole nother ball game. Didn't get much sleep last night anyway.
Didn't expect it to be this tough. It's relentless. You've got to be on your toes all the time.
I think you got to go for it. All guns blazing.
First, they'll have to invent a dish from scratch.
It's a little bit of genius.
Those who deliver will cook for the country's most discerning food critics.
It's a real Bobby Dazzler. It looked gorgeous.
Only the best will earn a place in Knockout Week.
These are the 6 best chefs from our heats. They are going to have to deliver something really good today.
They've got to come here wanting to win and wanting to fight for that place.
Chefs, welcome back into the kitchen and welcome to your quarter-final.
This is an invention test. At the heart of it is a beautiful abundance of fresh herbs. There is everything behind us, from nettles to lavender, there's mint, there's lemon balm, lemongrass, you name it, it is here. We would like you to make us one fantastic dish. It can be sweet or savoury, but what is important here is the herbs that you use in your dish. We don't just want to see the herbs sprinkled over your dish to finish it. We want it to be the core ingredient that's going to bring your dish together.
What you need to do now is prove to us that you're good enough to cook for our critics. At the end of this, 2 of you are going to be leaving the competition.
Guys, come up and get your ingredients. Herbs are a joy to work with. They can be used in rubs, in marinades, in oils, in sauces.
Using herbs sounds easy, but it's not. It's about choosing the right herb and the right flavour and balancing everything with it.
I'm pretty excited by it, yeah. We use a lot of fresh herbs at the restaurants, and we've got massive herb boxes, so I feel pretty good about it.
There's some beautiful herbs. And I use some lemongrass. Something in my mind is coming up.
Good challenge. There's a lot of fresh ingredients there. Some lovely stuff to use and make a good dish, so yeah, I've got a plan, yeah.
Now that I'm starting to think, starting to be a bit more aware of what's going on, a bit more comfortable.
Right, 70 minutes to cook and serve your dish. Off you go.
To be a quarter-finalist, relieved. The worst part was the skills test. Then pulled it out of the bag for the signature dish, so yeah, happy to be here. The invention test is like a bigger skills test. It's just a longer period of time to mess something up, so hopefully I just need to take my time and breathe and think properly.
Ben, how'd you like the challenge?
Really good. Makes you use your brain a bit and think about all the classic herb, different flavour combinations that herb go with, so.
Well, it's good to hear. And what combination have you gone with, Ben?
I've tried to elevate a few herbs. I've got pork and sage, so I'm just marinating the pork with a sage polenta. I'm going to do some poached apricots with a bit of lemon thyme. I'm going to make a sherry creme fraiche sauce with a bit of parsley and tarragon through it as well.
What makes you think this is good enough to get you through to the critics?
Hopefully I can get through just by cooking a perfectly tasty dish. Try and elevate as many herbs in there as possible.
Well, you certainly did that with your signature dish. Let's hope you can deliver again with the pork.
Fingers crossed.
Sage with the pork, apricots with lemon thyme. I love the sound of his dish. If it's as good as the lamb dish he cooked in the signature dish round, I'm really excited.
I scraped into the quarterfinals, so I'm hoping to make amends for that and try and prove that I'm good enough to be here. So I have to be on top form today and impress the judges as much as possible.
What type of dish are you going to be cooking for us?
I'm doing a stuffed chicken leg with a thyme stuffing, burnt onion stock, which I'm going to be then infusing with thyme, turnip with some thyme butter and a nice herb boil as well, with chive and parsley.
Just imagine, if you get through to the critics, they could discover you in your restaurant.
Well, I can't wait. You know, we're a small restaurant in the middle of nowhere, so we don't really get the opportunity very often. It would be an honour to do it, so I really want to get to that stage.
Good luck, and I hope this dish gets you through.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Chicken and thyme, it's a classic. I just hope that this stuffing with the herbs in will enhance that lovely flavour of that stuffed chicken leg.
Alexander is then serving this chicken with a burnt onion and a mushroom broth. These are quite strong flavours in itself, and I hope we'll be able to taste the herbs through this dish.
It is out of my comfort zone a little bit, being inventive. I like to be organised. I'm not a do-it last-minute kind of person. I like to make sure I'm ready to go more than spontaneous.
Tell me, Leo, what's the herbs you're using in your dish?
Using lovage. Lovage, not a utilised herb enough, so I'm going to be making a lovage emulsion. Cooked eggs, blitzed up, and then making an oil and turning the lovage oil into a thick emulsion. I'm going to make a tomato salad, dress it all in, some wild mushrooms.
OK, so you're not sure about protein?
Focusing on the actual, the herb and the garnish.
Chefs, 35 minutes have gone. You are halfway.
A bit of a mare in my emulsion. It's split, won't re-emulsify. I want to go a bit of a different route now.
Leo has had to abandon his emulsion because it's split. So I think we're going to get a completely different dish than what we thought.
So now I'm going to go crab, tomato, basil. It's classic, proper, good, fresh salad.
Things go wrong in kitchens all the time. The key to this is having the knowledge to come back fighting and being able to fix it.
Competition so far has been great. A bit of a roller coaster at the start. With the invention test, I think it kind of highlights one of my skills as a chef. I'm quite creative on the spot. So hopefully I can use all my skills and produce something good.
What herbs did you go for, Tom?
Tarragon and chives. So I've gone for chicken sweet corn leeks. Made a little vinaigrette with some confit shallot. I'm going to finish out with tarragon and the sweet corn. And then I've got a chive oil that I made there. I'm going to make an emulsion for the dish.
Tom, you seem a bit nervous.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, grab it with both hands and, you know, really get into it, OK?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, you've given us a great dish before, so you've got to do the same again, this time with the herbs.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
OK.
This dish has got the makings of a really good dish, but I want that tarragon to come shining through. It's a lovely flavour tarragon, and it will work beautifully well with the chicken and the sweet corn.
I'm hoping that they're excited about me for my signature dish, because I showed what I can do. There is a lot of pressure to come up with something, but you've got to do it. I've won competitions in the past, thinking on my feet, so hopefully I can do it this time. I'm going to do a salad. I'm going to do some dressed crab. I've used chives, dill. I'm using dandelion. I've made a chive oil, which I'm going to make a mayonnaise from, nice, vibrant green. Some compressed, pickled turnip discs. Then I've also going to do some charred spring onions. And, yeah, hopefully you're going to like it.
Are you telling me you're actually just going to make a bowl of salad?
It's what herbs scream to me. They scream fresh, nice salad, summertime.
This salad has got to be good enough to get you through to cook for our critics.
It does, and I hope it is. I know it's a simple dish, it's a gamble, but I've gone with freshness, and hopefully my flavours come through and it's good enough for you two guys.
Wow, you're a brave boy, Stephen.
Indeed.
Stephen has taken chives and dill as his key herbs. Seems very straightforward, but I want something amazing about this salad. You can't just go through on a salad, can he?
I found out really hard competition, so it's very high level. My friend, they call me last minute, because everything I decided is on the last minute. Instinct is beautiful in a chef. It makes you more creative.
Claudia, tell me, what is your dish?
My idea is to do a veg dish, cabbage, with some crushed potato, with some ratatouille and a sauce. It's made with cardamom, lemongrass, turmeric.
Why vegetarian?
I think it's a good challenge for a veg dish. Why not? And I hope you're gonna like it. I don't know.
How good's your ratatouille?
It's Italian ratatouille, so no, it's French. I hope it's good. So.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Claudia's going for really fragrant herbs. She's got the lemongrass, she's got the lemon balm. I think the question is that the type of herb that's going to work with the cabbage leaf and potato?
My main concerns is that I hope that cabbage leaf has been cooked enough. Kind of not sure why you'd poach potato in a cabbage leaf.
I'm not 100% convinced, but I can't wait to see the combination.
Chefs, you have just 4 minutes left.
Final 2 minutes.
That is it. Time's up. Step back.
Royally messed up. Oh, everything split on me.
Oh, really?
And then I just had to scrap my whole dish and completely start again.
First up is Ben. He's cooked pork fillet with sage polenta, morel mushrooms, lemon and thyme poached apricots, crispy sage leaves and roasted spring onions, with a tarragon and parsley creme fraiche sauce.
Ben, a very nice presented plate of food, really nice colours. The pork is beautifully cooked. It looks a little bit on the pink side, but it's actually perfect for that particular cut of meat. The sauce is great. Polenta is another creamy aspect to the dish as well. The flavour is sage. It's the flavour that I recognise with pork. The dish is very, very well put together.
The pork is cooked nicely, it's pink, and the sweetness of the apricot goes very well with this dish. I could eat this dish without a problem. I could finish it.
I wanted to do flavours that I'm comfortable with and that I know, so happy.
Alexander chose to use thyme, chives and parsley in his dish. He has made thyme-stuffed poached chicken leg, thyme-infused turnip fondants, a chive and parsley emulsion, burnt onions, thyme and parsley oil, girolles and spring onions, with a mushroom and burnt onion broth.
I have to say, Alexander, there's a lot more going on in that plate than I was expecting.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Not going to tell you yet. You don't really need 2 big white turnip fondants, and the girolles mushrooms haven't really been prepped down well enough. We're talking about refinement now. When it comes to the herbs, the flavours of them are coming through in areas but not in others. The stuffing is good. I like the flavour of the herbs coming through there. I would have loved the broth to have so much more flavour going through it. There's one item of this dish that you could have really made fragrant, full of herbs, and you missed it out.
The stuffed thigh has been seasoned nicely. I think you need to get it to nice and crispy all the way around. I quite like the stuffing that you've got there. I think the presentation, I need some work on it. Isn't as wow as the last dish.
Yeah, I suppose it's mixed emotions. I think I did enough, but I'm not sure the judges think I did enough, so it's just hard to judge and gauge their reaction.
Leo has made a heritage tomato salad with mayonnaise and parsley-dressed crab, pickled shallot rings, girolles with parsley, dandelion leaves, cannellini beans, aubergine, basil pesto, and a thyme tomato water.
So we've got rid of the lovage and the parsley, and we've gone to thyme, basil, and dandelion.
And parsley through the crab salad.
There's parsley in it as well. Right. First of all, Leo, I'm really pleased you've changed your dish, because I wasn't too sure where you were going first time round. I think the water, tomato water, is really tasty. I love the freshness of this dish. The basil, the little dandelion leaves, and the chives running through the dish, and the touch of parsley. They're all very delicate flavours. I like the tomatoes. You've made them taste really good. Crab is delicious. I like your idea. I like the flavour. And at the end of the day, it tastes good.
I like the dish because crab is seasoned nicely. It goes very well with the herbs that you've chosen. I love the tomatoes, and I really like this tomato broth that you have to go with it. You know, it's just things that is a bit strange to have then cooked aubergine. You've got beans and girolles as well as a pesto. It's a bit confused, Leo.
The judges' comments, obviously, I couldn't have been any happier with what Marcus Waring said. And again, with Monica, it wasn't necessarily all bad. It was positives and negatives. I took a massive risk and I did it, and it worked. So.
For his herb-inspired dish, Tom has made tarragon stuffed chicken baroutine, charred leek heart, girolles and sweet corn in a tarragon vinaigrette, and a chive emulsion.
Looks lovely. I like your eye for presentation.
The chicken is beautifully cooked, and I like what you've done with it. It's great. And I like the emulsion on the plate, and I love the sweet corn, and I love the leek. Everything about this dish has been executed beautifully well. In its presentation, your skill and your eye for detail is absolutely excellent. But I'm a little bit surprised that it's missing the essence of a key herb coming through. Tarragon, wasn't it?
Yes, and chive, yeah.
Tarragon and chives. I'm asking you because I can't taste it.
I think it took great skill to be able to make a balatine the way you did with the breast and cook it perfectly and not dry it out. The vinaigrette with the sweet corn and the girolles brings a nice element to the dish, as well as the roasted leek heart. I can taste the tarragon in there, but I want more of it.
Yeah, I was relatively happy with the dish I gave up. I didn't want to overdo it, so I kind of maybe played a little bit too safe, but it's OK.
Claudia's dish is blanched cabbage leaves with a potato and herb filling, made with lemon balm, dill, parsley and mint, with ratatouille, finished with a turmeric and lemongrass cream.
The potato is still quite moist inside, and you can taste the lemon balm that you've put through. For me, I'm enjoying your ratatouille more than the potato filling, and kind of wish you had that inside the cabbage leaves.
I have to be honest with you, the cabbage that's wrapped around the potato, for me, doesn't really work. I would have preferred that to be almost like a croquette, rather than wrapping it in an undercooked cabbage leaf that really doesn't have a great deal of flavour. The sauce is quite strong, but it just tastes of turmeric. So I'm not really getting the fresh herbs.
A bit let down. I knew that dish could be a nice dish, but I knew as soon as I finished, there wasn't that great flavour.
Stevens made a dressed crab salad in a chive oil mayonnaise, topped with dill and dandelion, pickled turnip and crispy potato strands, served with charred spring onions, compressed tomatoes, and fennel.
I think your presentation is absolutely excellent. Really is. Very clean looking, fresh, ready to dive in type of dish. I think the herb content in this is absolutely on the button. I can taste the dill on my palate and the crab freshness. I think the mayonnaise idea is brilliant and it works a treat with this. And the little green tomatoes that you've got on the plate, you've exactly done what we asked, which was give us a dish with herbs, and that's what we got.
Thank you very much.
Great job, well done you.
Thank you.
You've got the dill coming through and the chives. And then you've got this really lovely surprise of when you're eating tomatoes that are being compressed in the chive oil, and it's just delicious. It's wonderful, it's refreshing. It's a little bit of genius.
I don't think words can explain. I really don't. It's amazing. You're never thinking your wildest imaginations are you ever going to get feedback like that. Yeah, it's out of this world.
Well done.
What a great day. Well done, mate. I smashed it.
Some great ideas in there today and some fabulous plates of food. Well done.
The next round means cooking for our critics. We can only take through the strongest of you. 2 of you will have to leave us today.
I thought today we had some good dishes and some really interesting ideas. Some of the ideas worked and some of them didn't.
There's a chef in this kitchen today that made a dish that I thought just made me happy, and that was Stephen.
Every mouthful had flavour of herb running through it. It was fresh, it was light, it was delicious. Stephen cooking for our critics? Absolutely. Can't wait to see what he cooks for them. We've got one chef that definitely goes through to the next round. We have to choose 3 more.
Ben made us a pork and sage dish. He cooked the pork loin well, he cooked the garnish well, and he made a good sauce to go with it.
Sage and pork, we know it works. He cooked a very good dish today. Ben goes through.
Tom's chosen herb was tarragon. Lovely looking plate of food, tasted great, but I just thought it needed more of that lovely tarragon flavour.
You know, we can praise Tom for cooking a great dish, but what I want Tom to think about is that if we want herbs, then that's what we want. Leo had a bit of a disaster today in the kitchen. His emulsion wasn't working, but he changed the dish on the spot, and that shows a very competent chef. The dish was full of herbs and it had lots of great flavours.
I thought Leo gave us a dish that I thought tasted good, but there was a lot of ingredients. I like the ideas that Claudia was bringing to her dish, but I don't think she put it together properly. The potatoes with the cabbage that was undercooked. I was hoping Claudia was going to wow me with this vegetable dish, and she didn't quite deliver.
I didn't see refinement from Alexander today. Quite liked his idea. It was creative. It just lacked a standout herb flavour.
I am a bit disappointed, to be honest, because I've seen what Alexander can do. The broth didn't bring much to it.
If I had to go home today, I'd be pretty devastated, but to get through to cook to the critics would be amazing.
I'm feeling confident, but then again, I'm up against 5 other chefs. I'll be disappointed in myself if I didn't get through.
I hope they're gonna choose to give me another chance.
I was happy with my dish, so it's the best I could do. The competition's just getting started now, so I'd really like to carry on.
Really good day in the kitchen today, chefs, but the next challenge is cooking for our critics. We can only take our strongest chefs through.
2 of you will have to leave us. The first chef leaving the competition is Claudia. Thank you, Claudia. The second chef leaving us is Alexander.
I think my cooking today was not at its best, maybe. Did 1 dish on the day and mine wasn't quite good enough, so.
It's a competition. You play, you can win, you can lose. So back to the real life. Why not?
Well done, chefs, but don't get too comfortable. You've got the critics in the next round.
You have the most wonderful opportunity before you to serve your food to some of the best critics within this country.
You're going to really need to raise the bar if you're going to impress these guys. You have 1 hour and 15 minutes to cook 8 plates of food. At the end of today, we're going to be losing 1 of you. 3 of you left are going to be going through to knockout week. Off you go.
There's nothing easy about the challenge. I mean, we had 1 hour and 15 to do our signature dish, and now we've got the same amount of time to do 7 more dishes. I have to really put my head down, dig my heels in, and get on with it.
How do you feel about cooking for critics?
Nervous. I've cooked for critics before, but I don't think I've ever cooked for critics this big. They are top-end critics.
All right, tell me what's the menu.
You've got sea bass with cauliflower puree, pickled cauliflower fondant, some rock samphire with some chorizo, and then a nice fresh gremolata just to finish. Dessert, we've got chocolate delice with poached cherries, cherry puree, mascarpone mousse, and pistachios.
We've talked about pushing yourself. Are you doing this today?
I feel like I'm pushing myself. I've only tried this dish once, and I really hit it hard, so fingers crossed I can do it again and make it as nice as I did the first time.
Ben has got to make sure his sea bass is cooked to perfection. You want it lovely, soft, succulent. The skin should be lovely and golden. I'm expecting a wow factor. That's what I'd like to see.
Ben's dessert is a chocolate delice. You've got to get the balance right. He's got to have that fabulous chocolate flavour coming through from the bitter chocolate and then the beautiful cherries to complement them. This is a great sounding dessert, but it's all about precision.
This is the quarterfinals, man. You got to push yourself. And I've got 2 strong dishes, but this is the Masterchef kitchen. Anything can go wrong.
Stephen, it's looking a little bit frantic over here. What's going on?
I'm in a little bit of a problem.
What's happened?
So I've over-caramelised my white chocolate, which has never happened before when I've been practising, but it has today of all days. So I'm going to have to push on and get through this.
What are you making, Stephen?
The main course, you're going to get salted cod with wild garlic, which I'm going to do a couple of different ways. Baby gem, some crispy shallots, confit tomatoes, quite a rich dessert. Dark chocolate crema, but I'm going to infuse the milk and the cream with a bit of rosemary. Aerated white chocolate, passion fruit curd, and some apricot, which is just going to be fresh, compressed in a stock syrup.
You've got a lot going on there, Stephen.
I've got a lot to do. I've been practising. I need to push on.
Stephen's under a huge amount of pressure at the moment. One of his elements of his dessert has gone completely wrong. He's had to start melting chocolate all over again. I love the sound of his menus. I like the idea of salting the cod before you cook it. It just draws out a little bit of that moisture and gives it a fabulous firm texture. He's also got crispy shallot rings and potato discs. Everything has to be spot on.
The dark chocolate crema, which is like a set, rich ganache. He's making a passion fruit curd. He's aerating white chocolate, a spoomer into aerating chamber, then into a backpack machine. And then he's got to get that set. If he gets that done, this will be a wonderful, wonderful dessert.
Definitely got a point to prove. So the most important thing for me to stay in today is to stay focused, just think methodically, and deliver a knockout dish.
Tom, tell me about the menu. What are you cooking?
Cod wrapped in pancetta. Serving that with a romesco sauce, roasted grilled onions, Jersey roll potatoes, and some little baby gem lettuce leaves. Dessert, I'm doing chocolate cremosa, making a peanut sponge. I'm glazing that sponge with a miso caramel and topping that with a toasted peanut praline and a yoghurt cream on the side.
Do you like making desserts, Tom?
Yeah, I love the pastry section. Really enjoy the satisfaction of making something from scratch, which is something you don't really get from the other sections in the kitchen.
Do you think your food can get through, get past our critics?
I think on a good day, the dishes are, for me, really good, so hopefully, yeah.
Tom's got his head down at the moment with a very interesting menu. He's making a romesco sauce. It's roasted peppers and tomato, almonds and garlic running through it. The balance of that has to work very well with the cod and the pancetta. Tom's dessert is a peanut sponge. He's also got miso in this dish as well, which is an unusual thing, I think, to put with a dessert. So I'm really interested to see whether or not it works or not.
I am taking a bit of a gamble, definitely, especially with the main course. I think it shows a lot in a chef to be able to push 3 or 4 different ingredients and showcase them ingredients really, really well.
How are you doing, Leo?
Yeah, good under pressure, but it's positive, feeling positive.
What have you got on the menu for us?
A roasted pollock wrapped in burnt cabbage with a seaweed and smoked caviar sauce, finished off with some sea herbs. And then for dessert, I'm doing a buttermilk panna cotta with some vanilla, and then textures of strawberry.
How much do you want to be in that knockout week?
Desperate kind of thing. It's, I never thought it would be such a adrenaline rush. It's relentless, but it's exciting. It's what you want to be a chef.
Leah's main course is cooking pollock, and then he's going to wrap it in a hispy cabbage leaf. I like the fact he's putting dashi through the sauce. That'll give it a really good pungent flavour.
For me, you want that cabbage cooked properly. There's nothing worse than eating undercooked cabbage.
Interesting sounding dish. Sounds very simple. There's nowhere to hide on this dish.
For dessert, we have a buttermilk panna cotta with textures of strawberry. Buttermilk has a citrus sort of sharpness to it, which I quite enjoy. I think it would go very well with the strawberries.
Hoping he'll pull off some good cookery today and really impress our critics.
You know, I love Masterchef The Professionals because it gives you a snapshot as to what's actually happening at the coalface in real restaurants up and down the country.
I think these are professional chefs, so they would be judged as if I was judging a restaurant. Does it taste good? Does it look good? This is proper cooking at the highest level.
Be brave, be bold, be original. Do something that really tells me something about you.
Ben, how are we?
Good, chef.
We've got 15 minutes left to go.
Yep.
Are you on time?
I think I'm on time. Just got to pick my samphire, blitz my puree, fondant's done, start pan frying everything, make it tasty.
So we've got pan-fried sea bass, cauliflower, chorizo, gremolata.
The chorizo is key to this, because otherwise it's quite one-note and bland. I think the chorizo will bring that spicy fat to it.
Gremolata is a very punchy Italian sauce. The thing that worries me slightly is that there's nothing there to absorb those strong flavours.
Ben, you've got 4 minutes left.
Yes, chef.
Are you still going to be on time?
2-3 minutes, chef, definitely.
Final touches?
Yes, chef. Saffron, cauliflower, and then dress, and I'm gone.
Done?
I'm done, chef. Off you go. Hello, sorry for the delay. Today we've got pan-fried sea bass with rock samphire, chorizo and cauliflower and a gremolata.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The fish is cooked well, nice crisp skin. The samphire is exceedingly salty. It's quite brusque, the gremolata, even more than usual. The problem is, for me, There's nothing that draws this plate together.
I love that creamy, indulgent cauliflower puree. Also, the cauliflower fondant just brings out all the nuttiness of the cauliflower.
Everything is cooked perfectly, but it does lack a sort of extraordinary piece of finesse. Will I remember this dish in a year? Probably not. But today, for lunch, very nice.
The combinations we know are a given that they work. There's not really any excitement in this plate of food. I think he's done a very safe dish.
Way too much lemon juice for me, in part. Let's hope the dessert's got the wow factor we're looking for. Ben, you've got 15 minutes now for your dessert. You going to be on time?
Yep.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Ben's doing a chocolate delice with cherries, mascarpone and pistachios. This is a pretty classic dessert.
The chocolate delice is quite a complex little thing. It's a sort of work of patisserie. It isn't just a bog-standard baked chocolate pudding.
The cherries coming in, it reminds me slightly of Black Forest Gatto.
Ben, you've got 2 minutes left.
Yes, chef.
You'll be on time?
Yes.
Are you happy with your dessert so far?
Yes. The delice is set. Happy.
Looking good.
Thank you, chef. Here we've got chocolate delice with poached cherries, cherry puree, pistachio and a mascarpone mousse. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Ben's dessert looks absolutely gorgeous. That lovely, glossy little delice. Yeah, it's a real Bobby Dazzler. It looked gorgeous. It looked very subtle and sophisticated. But actually, the delice, we're really struggling to get down through the biscuit. We're almost having to bring out the hammer and chisel to get down there. The cherry puree is slightly undersweet. It's just all a little bit one note.
It lacks the wow factor. It lacks that one ingredient or that one technique that makes you want to jump on the table and howl at the moon.
It's competent, but in MasterChef Professionals, that's not good enough. He hasn't raised the bar enough.
The chocolate delice is rich, it's smooth, it's creamy, and he's definitely got a crunchy base underneath that.
There's nothing surprising on this dish, but it is executed very well.
That was a push. That was a push. I think I've definitely shown a good skill level of cooking. Nothing about this competition is easy. It's all hard. It's all hard.
Right, Stephen, you've got 15 minutes left. 15 minutes to your main course. All good?
All good. All good.
Stephen's fish dish, cod. Confit tomatoes, spring baby gem, baby leeks and wild garlic.
It lives or dies, this dish, on whether he can cook that cod line to perfection.
The thing that does excite me is the wild garlic emulsion. A vivid green pool, which will bring all these other things together, that could really make the dish.
It's looking good. Nice and green.
Smells amazing.
Ready to go through?
Yes.
OK.
Nice.
Looks good. Love the smell of that sauce.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Today, guys, we've got salted cod, wild garlic, different variations of that, confit tomatoes. You got a little potato disc, charred baby leeks and gem. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There's nice elements about it. I like that charred lettuce. I like the little char-grilled leek. The wild garlic sauce is actually good, subtle, and just that very gentle, warm breath of garlic through it. I like that.
The potato is just literally a sliced piece of boiled potato. The confit tomatoes just taste like rather soft, raw tomatoes. Promises so much. But it tastes of almost nothing.
The one thing I can say is the fish is cooked well.
The cod is absolutely delicious, seasoned to perfection. The wild garlic sauce has a lovely tang and zing running through it. The potato fondant, the burnt leek, the lettuce leaf. Stephen has done a fantastic job with that dish. Wow.
I could go over there and hug Stephen right now. But first, I'm going to finish the rest of it.
Dark chocolate cremo, passion fruit curd, aerated white chocolate, apricot and rosemary.
Unless he gets the exact right sweetness and denseness and richness to that chocolate cremeur, it's not going to work.
There's a danger here because that rosemary may seem clever but could completely destroy that dish if he's not careful.
What's happened, Stephen?
I've aerated my chocolate. I've got to put it in the freezer, and it's not set.
If you do it again, how long will it take?
Probably about 15, 20 minutes.
Well, you ain't got 15, 20 minutes, unfortunately.
I'll have to leave it off the dish then.
Leave it off?
Yeah, I'll leave it off.
OK.
OK.
Stephen, you've got 3 minutes, so you've got quite enough time to get that done, OK?
I think it looks great. It's become a habit of yours, leaving things off to your dishes.
It has indeed, yeah.
Hey, it worked last time.
I hope it works this time.
Well done.
Sorry about the little delay. Okay, so today you have a chocolate crema, compressed apricots, passion fruit curd, crystallized rosemary, and also you were meant to have aerated chocolate, but it was a technical error. So instead I've given you a little pistachio crumb just for a bit of texture.
Thank you.
Cheers. I'm hoping that it was enough. Would have been nice to have my aerated white chocolate on there. What can you do?
Well, I feel for Stephen because obviously he'd planned a slightly different dish which involved the aerated white chocolate.
I'm amazed by the rosemary. I thought the rosemary that much would overwhelm, and you just get a whisper of rosemary. So the rosemary's just about judged right. The technique in the chocolates is fine, and I like the idea of compressed apricot. I don't mind the texture of the apricot. It's not bad.
There's one great thing on this dish, and that's those little dots of passion fruit curd. My goodness, he's coaxed some lovely flavour out of that. I like the rosemary. I'm actually a fan of the combination of rosemary and chocolate together. I think that actually works quite well.
This is the makings of a stunning dessert. The passion fruit curd is delicious. The rosemary, great addition to this dish.
I know he's disappointed that there's been a technical issue which has cost him the aerated white chocolate, but it's still a good-tasting dessert.
Hi, Leo.
Hi, Chef.
How are we doing?
Nearly there. My fish is about a minute off. Gonna wrap it in the cabbage and then finish it off in the pan.
So Leo's a bit trendy, isn't he? Roasted pollock, hispy cabbage, sea herbs, seaweed.
We have a seaweed and caviar sauce. I worry if it's going to be too rich and too salty, so he has to show his skill by holding back the overwhelming nature of both those ingredients. It's an interesting dish, and I really hope he pulls it off.
Oh, thanks.
Welcome. This is roasted pollock, wrapped in hispy cabbage, sea herbs, and seaweed and caviar sauce.
Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like a sort of modern Scandinavian or Nordic style dish that you might get in any number of fashionable restaurants. With this style of cooking, where you're doing something absolutely simple, everything has to be perfect. And I'm afraid that this is not perfect.
The main problems, the veins on this cabbage you want to get out because it's very chewy, you can't cut through it. He talked about a seaweed and caviar sauce. There was no sauce, there was a bit of water from the cabbage.
I've got raw cabbage that's wrapping a piece of fish, I think slightly undercooked. I would send this back if I was in a restaurant.
The piece of fish I took was nicely cooked, but I can't see where it was slightly under.
When you cut through the cabbage, you need to really saw through it, which then damages the fish itself. If the sauce would have been what I was expecting, it really could have made the simplicity of this dish brilliant, but it was just a little bit wishy-washy.
First time cooking for critics, what was it like?
Nerve-wracking.
Are you going to be on time with desserts?
Fingers crossed. I'm just going to double-check one thing and I should be ready.
A panna cotta, strawberries and a strawberry sorbet.
This is like Henley in a straw hat. No, the sun has got his hat on. Hip, hip, hooray. I hope.
What we've got left to do, Leo?
So just got to finish off some granola, freeze-dried strawberry gel, and then sorbet just to finish.
All right, you've got 4 minutes left to go. You done?
Yep, yes, chef.
Off you go, Leo.
The dessert's a vanilla buttermilk panna cotta with textures of strawberry. So we've got sorbet, a gel, some freeze-dried and some fresh, finished off with some granola just over the top.
Thank you.
Brutal, brutal, brutal. I wasn't happy with the main course. Nowhere near happy with it. I was disappointed myself. They might like the flavours, so fingers crossed, eh?
This looks very nice and competent. I think it looks like a decent pud.
It's kind of like a really lovely play on strawberries and cream. That crunchy granola just adds lovely interest and texture to it. It's absolutely delicious.
There are some great elements here. The panna cotta is actually faultless. The sorbet is delicious, and it's still got a bit of tanginess to it. It's not over-sweetened, and often sorbet is too sugary.
This is a riot of textures. The panna cotta wobbles just as it should. That sorbet is intense, and everything a sorbet should be. It captures the very essence of a strawberry. It's a really, really good dessert.
The star of this plate for me is that beautiful strawberry sorbet. It's absolutely delicious. So to get that flavour from fresh strawberries is outstanding. Really good to see.
It's a really lovely dessert. Really simple, happily eat the rest of it. Tom, you've got 10 minutes left.
OK.
You're going to be OK?
Yep.
Good.
Tom has given us cod, pancetta, Jersey Royals and romesco sauce.
I love the fact there's Jersey Royals in Tom's menu because I think they're one of the great British ingredients.
A good romesco sauce should have the sweetness of the red peppers. It should be vivid, it should be exciting, it should lift the whole dish up.
Tom, you've got a minute to go.
You happy with how the cod's cooked, Tom?
Yeah, it's good nicely. Yes. Today I've cooked for you cod wrapped in pancetta, with the romesco sauce, grilled onions and Jersey Royal potatoes.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
I like this. There's a sort of certain finesse about it. It's attractive, it's professional. I like it.
Everything on the plate is lovely. You know, the romesco sauce, kind of warming, nutty, creamy notes to the whole thing. The cod hasn't dried out, Jersey Royals, everything about it is good. It's just not very exciting.
The romesco has quite a good whack of chilli in it. I like that. The fish is well cooked, the pancetta is well crisped. Tom can cook.
The dish does taste good. The bacon comes through really well. The cod's got a lovely moisture to it.
It's a nice eating plate of food, but I was expecting a little bit more from Tom today. So you got 15 minutes now for your dessert.
Okay.
Is it going to be on time?
Yeah, hopefully.
Chocolate cremosa, peanut, miso, and yogurt.
This is a sort of dessert you would see in a high-end restaurant. The idea of mixing miso and chocolate is interesting. I think it could work.
Tom, you've got 2 minutes left to go. So what's left to go on?
Just the chocolate crema, a bit more of the caramel sauce, and that's it.
You done?
Yeah.
Off you go.
So the dessert today is chocolate cremosa with peanut sponge, miso caramel, and a bit of yogurt on there.
Thank you.
Cheers, enjoy.
Thank you.
I like the crunch of the peanuts. I like that lactic sharpness of the yogurt. The chocolate is fine. The cake's just odd. I don't mind mixing sweet and savoury, but all these discordant flavours are coming together and clashing. My taste buds are perplexed and worried. They might have to go to counselling. This is traumatising.
The peanut brittle is really good, and that, with the chocolate and the yogurt, is a nice combination. There's just something odd about that peanut cake. The texture has become heavy and dense, and the miso has added a weird flavour to it.
I can taste the miso coming through. I'd like a little bit more to offset the sweetness, but I think it's divine. Very simple, very easy to eat.
But I really like it. It's a twist, it's different, it's creative. And that's what we want from our chefs.
That was extremely tough. Time just disappeared straight away. All the other rounds we've done so far, I kind of felt like I did everything I wanted to do, and there I didn't, so yeah, I'm not particularly happy.
I don't think there was one perfect standout chef. They all had issues. But it was still a good day in the kitchen. It's going to be a tough judging. Stephen's main course was exceptional. Beautifully presented, great colours, freshness, vibrant flavours coming through.
The critics didn't enjoy Stephen's main course as much as we do. I thought this was a great main course, thoroughly enjoyed it. Stephen's dessert, a shame there was an issue, because I thought that the aerated chocolate would have brought the extra sweetness to this.
It wasn't the complete dish, we know that, but I've really enjoyed Stephen's cookery today.
I really want to be in knockout week. I think it'd be the pinnacle of my career so far. Just have to wait and see now. It's a waiting game, isn't it?
I really liked the way Tom's menu sounded. Cod wrapped in pancetta.
It was tasty, but a little bit safer, not very adventurous. Our critics didn't like Tom's peanut sponge cake, but I quite enjoyed it. It had great potential. Adding the miso, and it was an interesting combination. Nice to see a little bit of edge from this young chef.
I'm feeling very average right now. I'm not sure if I've done enough.
Ben gave us the sea bass dish. Good cooking, tasted nice, but there's just nothing special about it.
Ben's chocolate delice. The dish did work. It all sort of came together, but there was no excitement in there. Such a shame. I wanted Ben to really give us something extra today.
I want to feel confident, but I don't want to be overconfident about it, so I don't want to go home just yet. I'm not ready to.
Leo, his menu sounded really interesting. The pollock wrapped in Hisby cabbage served with caviar, but the sauce just lacked flavour, and it didn't work when you were trying to cut through the cabbage leaf.
Disappointed for Leo because the idea is very good.
But Leo's dessert, that was something else. Great flavours, great textures, and beautifully executed.
The critics absolutely loved Leo's dessert. Simplicity done well. When you nail it, you please everyone.
I've got to the quarter-final, so it's kind of like you want to push yourself and get to that next stage and then push a bit further.
I think we have a bit of a dilemma.
Not one chef gave us both dishes done perfectly, which is what we wanted here.
Who do we take through? Who's our strongest chefs? What a tough day in the kitchen. Never easy cooking for our critics. We can only take 3 of you through to knockout week, and we've made our decision. And the chef leaving the competition is Ben.
Gutted, but I'm proud of getting this far with the calibre of chefs that I was cooking against. Just gonna get back in the kitchen and get on with it.
Chefs, congratulations, you're through to the knockout week. Well done.
Couldn't be happy. I didn't expect it. I don't know where to start crying now, to be nervous or look forward to it. So.
Really wasn't expecting that result, so yeah, really pleased to.
I'm very happy, over the moon. It's probably the best thing that's happened so far in my career. I'm here to win, so I've got to keep my head down, stay focused, and cook some good food.
Well done, chefs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Chin chin.
Cheers, chefs.
Cheers. Congratulations.
Well done.
Next week, another 6 chefs compete for a place in the quarter-final.
Is it burnt?
Yes. Can I start again?
This is all about your food. Really show us what you're made of.
I don't know where you're going to end up, but I'd like to book a table, because that is lovely.